Hello everyone, welcome to our circle and Salve Women. Today for my 101, we're going to talk about it is well with my soul. Now, just like many other talks that I have, allowing myself to be vulnerable, this is important to me because I really want you to understand the terms that I arrive to, and understanding that busy doesn't mean well or that it is a good thing. Because in my mind, I thought by filling my days meant that my life was complete, that it was fulfilled. But what I didn't realize was, just like I had mentioned in my previous video, as well as my articles, that when you carry a torchlight, you are really thinking that it is a torchlight that you're running with, and you're running this race, and you're going to be victorious, and you're going to make, marks in your life, and you're going to feel really good every time that you hit a mark and that you finish it, and then you move on to another one and so forth. And here I am thinking that I am running all the time in this race and I am being victorious, so that I should be feeling good. However, every time I arrived at a destiny, why I wasn't feeling good started to really get at me. I started to realize that no matter what I did not feel complete. I did not feel that all was well. And there was this inexplicable feeling that I could not put my finger on, as I was progressively moving about in life. It was only until recently, it's interesting because sometimes when you really have that moment, just I mentioned in my article, is when you visit that moment of darkness in your life where you feel like you have lost purpose, that you have lost, any type of step, not knowing what to do next, it was that moment that I found rest. It was that moment where I found peace, that I actually realized what that torchlight I was carrying all that time really represented. In my mind, I thought that it was a torchlight that I was carrying to really keep me going, that it was something that I had to hold on to make sure that I had the light to guide the way, to direct me, to keep me moving in the right path, and that I was moving forward with all the strength that I was getting from this light. When I came to understand in that really quick moment of what am I going to do next? What is my true purpose? What have I really come to in life where I feel that no matter how much I've accomplished, I am still feeling empty? It hit me that that torchlight was a representation of my past that I was running from. And so let me explain this. I came to terms that this torchlight I was carrying was really the generational torchlight that was being passed down to me. It really represented fears. It represented despair, hopelessness, all those stories that you've heard, or the faces that you saw of all the countenance fallen and had really come to surrender whatever it was that they ended up accepting as okay, rather than foregoing whatever their dreams and aspirations were. And all of a sudden they came to a point where they said, I guess I'm just going to go with the flow, whatever I have. And it was that inactivity that I was running away from. And here I'm thinking that by me carrying this torchlight that was in the back of my head subconsciously, that it was my light. It was going to be my drive to keep me going, moving forward. And not realizing that as long as I had this torchlight, I was always going to be feeling dissatisfied. I was always going to feel somewhat empty and somewhat feeling as if I will never arrive. And so for those of you who have ever gotten to a point where you just go, what next? What have I not accomplished? What have I not done that I said I was going to do? Why is it that I am now feeling drained and feeling somewhat lost? When I came to that point, there was this voice that was in me that said, turn off the light. and in fact, I think the light had already long, just at that moment, been put out. And I was just in this darkness, and I was like, where am I going here? What next? I was feeling through, imagining yourself, right? Analogically, of just feeling through the darkness and just, where am I going with this? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I seemingly lost? Why am I not feeling fulfilled? And I felt this inner voice just laughing at me, saying, you are your own light. You are your own strength. You are everything that you thought perhaps you didn't have, because that light represented what you thought was going to be your strength, was going to be your direction, and so forth. And yet all that you need is within you. And I came to the realization at that point, and that is when I found my inner strength, is you are enough. And I know that sounds like a cliche now these days, but I then answered back, whoa, my prideful self, and I'm thankful for that. I am more than enough. Whoever told you that I was just enough? And that is when I started to really rise. And it felt so good to not have to carry that torch light, or that torch that I was carrying that was lit up, that all my life I thought I had to carry to drive me through and be as a force to get me to the next step, and to the next step, and to the next step. Because it hit me that was my reminder. Yeah, you're never going to get to the next mark, and you're not going to be happy when you get there, because look how you feel right now. Now, that we've gone here, you're still not satisfied. It was always this reminder. And as soon as that torchlight actually turned off and it was put out and blown away and totally gone, like I could feel it in my system, I had to find that inner joy, that light inside of me that I thought was what was carrying me through, my inner strength. Not again realizing I was my own fight. I was my own fight, because generationally I had been carrying this despair, this hopelessness, this, who do you think you are mind of mentality, thinking you're never going to be better than what we have all become. And it was like, whoa, no, let me move on to the next step, and let me show you. And then this torchlight that I was just like in the back of my head, this imaginary torchlight that I was carrying, that kept going, okay, you're here, but guess what? You still don't feel complete. You still don't feel victorious. You still don't feel like you have really amounted to anything. And it was like these voices in this torchlight that was talking to me, telling me these things. And it hit me that when it was put out, I didn't have to hear those voices anymore. I could completely let go. Like that torchlight was gone in the dark. It just, when it was blown out, it was like it just went away. And when I stepped out of that darkness, thankfully it was only a short time, it was like, oh, I am well. I am well with my soul, and I am okay knowing that I have put that behind me, and I don't care if I'm in a fall. I'm going to laugh all the way through as I'm falling, stumbling, whatever. I'm going forward, and I'm going forward with this inner light inside of me, this inner strength inside of me, and no matter what, no one can tell me that I have not accomplished anything that is to be commended for, that is to be recognized. Because for the longest time, still to this day, I never really cared for anyone else to recognize what I was doing, because what people didn't know is I wasn't doing it for them. It was this constant doing for me, like, no, I'm better. I can do more. I can be, a little bit more than what I was yesterday. And it just felt so good to then step out of those voices, away from those voices, and in that darkness, that moment of darkness, when that light went out, it felt really good. It felt so good to now look back and I laugh and go, strong I am for having realized that there was this light just waiting inside of me to just guide me through without being haunted by anything that anyone had, really in the past had suffered from. And, pain and suffering is real, and you've heard it all throughout those around you, and you felt sorry for them. But no longer did I have to think to myself that anyone's inactivity, anyone's immobility, anyone's dysfunction, or anyone's despair or surrender, I had to own. I could let that torchlight go and say, that's done. I'm not going to pass that on to my children. It is put away, and I pray that I don't pass down any such torchlight down to my next generations, that whatever torchlight that I'm going to give them, it'll be, hey, I want to be that whisper. I want to be that, hey, you have that light within you. You don't have to carry any torchlight. You are the fire. You are the beam of light. Just shine on. So with the words of my mother, God bless us all. If you haven't turned off, or anyone has blown out that torch or that torchlight you're carrying around that was generationally passed down to you, it's time. If you're not ready to let it go yet, that's okay. Just know that when you do, it'll feel really good, because then you will be whole. At least I have found myself to be complete, just being me, myself, and I, moving forward with my own light, with my own sunshine inside, and that warmth from it within feels really good. Be victorious, one day at a time, one moment at a time. Don't forget to love yourself throughout your journey, and it's okay if you don't feel it all the time. We don't always have to be a 10 in our feelings, but we can be a 10 in our attitude or in our try. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next time.